Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Cali Culture Podcast, episode 24, featuring special guest OneLuv, who's the creator of the social media platform OneLuv Travel. Now, OneLuv is a world traveler. He loves to go to different countries and experience different cultures. Recently, in fact, a few months ago, OneLuv traveled to Cali, Colombia, and had a blast. Now he loves the city, and he's going to be a guest on our show today to explain and describe his wonderful experiences in Cali, Colombia. So without further ado, episode 24, listen, learn, and enjoy. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Cali Culture Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Preston. This is the only podcast on air that discusses everything about Cali, Colombia. We have another great show for you today, ladies and gentlemen. So you definitely want to listen to it in its entirety. Now, if you've been thinking about traveling to Cali, which is what we discuss, we talk about the culture, we showcase the culture. If you've been thinking about traveling to Cali, but you've been having some reservations because you don't know a lot about the city, you want to listen to this show because our guest today has recently been to Cali and experienced the wonderful culture. And he's here today to discuss and share his amazing experiences in Cali. So without further ado, let's bring on in our guest, OneLuv. Welcome to the show.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing?
Doing great, man. It's good to have you on the show. I follow you on TikTok, and I love your content. I love what you're doing, and you're a world traveler, which we're going to talk about that a lot on the show today. But first, for the first-time visitors and viewers of the show, and the viewers in general, I always like to start the show with you giving some information about yourself. Introduce yourself to the show and the viewers. Let us know where you're from, where you currently live, and what you do for work.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, guys? One love travel. Traveling across. I would say not the world yet. I'm not totally across the world yet, but that's definitely in the future for me. I live currently in Miami, Florida, but I was born in Haiti originally, but I live in Miami, Florida. And what I do for a living is I'm a sound engineer and lighting designer. That's really my trade of day. Then the YouTube thing is what I'm building up right now, and
Mhm.
hopefully we can go ahead and monetize pretty soon. The numbers are really going up there, so yeah, definitely. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So you're a creator of One Travel, which is a social media platform. In fact, that's how I got to know you, One Love,
Yeah.
is your social media content. And specifically, when I saw your video about Cali, Colombia, I was like, I got to connect with this brother because,
Yeah.
you had nothing but good things to say about Cali. But before we talk about Cali and your experiences there, let's talk about One Love Travel and what was your inspiration for starting that page?
Yeah, definitely. My inspiration was like I enjoy traveling, man. I've been doing it for the past, I would say, 3 years. So I enjoyed really since the first time I took a airplane and went to Cuba, and that was like really my. I've been to other countries before, but Cuba was like I would say the first one that opened me into making content and creating a YouTube channel. That was really what opened me to do that and proceed with it because I watched a lot of other guys, other YouTube travelers, and
Hmm.
that's what really got me into it, man. And there's a backstory to that, of course, but really that's what pushed me to traveling and creating the YouTube channel.
Okay. So you're a world traveler. To me, it's always fascinating when I talk to other world travelers
Mhm.
and people that love to travel, whether it be Asia or South America or Europe. It's always good to get people's perspective on the countries they've been to.
Mhm.
With that being said, how many countries thus far have you traveled to? And was there any one country in particular that you would say was an amazing experience over all the other experiences that you've had thus far?
Yeah, I'm trying to see, man. For me, I would say of all the countries, I think I had the greatest experience in Cuba. I would honestly say that just because I don't know, man. I just like it. I just like going over there. I mean, it's currently really bad right now, so I haven't been able to travel there. because of the whole issue with with the states and everything. But I would say for me, as far as the vibe, just I fit right in. I would say definitely Cuba. Not because of the modern stuff that they don't have and things like that. I understand because I mean I'm from Haiti, so I grew up similar to how they are now. So I was used to that.
Hmm.
But when you come in as a tourist, you pretty much have all the finer things. So you kind of shielded from those things anyway. So I would say for me, that was like that's my top country that I enjoy the most going to and being there. That was like I enjoy the most. Yeah, man.
Gotcha.
hmm
Okay. Yeah, that's one country I definitely have not been, and it's
hmm
a shame to haven't been because it's what 45 minutes from Miami.
Yeah, yeah, it's right there. It's
It's
right
right
there.
there. It's right there. But I have heard
Yeah,
some real good things about Cuba, and like
yeah.
you said, right now is not the optimal time to travel there now, but hopefully things smoothing out, um, and um, and they work things out. I know they're having issues even with the power grid right now.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's an issue because the last time I was there last year, it wasn't as bad. I think I had my power shut down for like one day, but I just
Mhm.
went out for the day. By the time I came back, it was back on. So, but
Mhm.
they was doing pretty well, man. Before the whole embargo, they was doing pretty well. Everything once you down there, you was like, okay, just give them a few more years. Like it's gonna
Mhm.
if they open up more, but powers that be say, we're gonna go ahead and take you back a few years. So,
Yeah. Well, like I said,
yeah. So
hopefully it work out for the
yeah,
good for the people of Cuba. Because that's
yeah,
what's
yeah,
the
yeah,
main
yeah.
thing is,
They don't
when
let suffering.
yeah, they're over there suffering. It's tough,
Yeah.
when you have a power grid and people don't have power for weeks
hmm
and maybe even a month. That's uh that's tough,
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
that you had that experience because you can see when things are going good and then you see when things when there's government issues when things
Yeah.
go sour too. You get to you saw the whole experience.
Yeah. 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 Definitely.
Yeah. Now let's talk about your recent trip to Cali, Colombia. Again, that's how I knew of One Love, as I saw one of your
Yeah.
videos, and there's not many content creators that make content specifically for Cali.
Yeah.
Usually, it's either Medellin or Cartagena or Bogota. And the content creation that I've seen, specifically on YouTube, in regards to Cali, it's always well, you got to be careful. Cali's dangerous. You got to be careful
Yeah.
in the barrios you go to. There's one social content creator on YouTube in particular. I'm not gonna mention his name, but all he does is he'll go to the so-called rough bad barrios and say,
Yeah.
"I'm
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
dangerous area." I know you know what I'm talking about. I'm in a
Yeah.
dangerous area to basically get clicks. It makes people click on this content. But
Yeah.
you were
Very
one of
true.
the first that had real positive content in regards to Cali, and not only positivity in the content, but you actually showed some of the areas that you were in. So my first question to you is, why did you decide to go to Cali? Out of all of the cities you could have went to in Colombia,
hmm
why did you decide to go to Cali? And had you been to other cities in Colombia besides Cali prior to your trip there?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. For me, the reason why I chose Cali was like I wanted more authentic experience, more
Mhm.
Colombian, just more with locals. Because, like I said, I went to Cartagena, very touristy. Medellin, same thing. And I was like, bro, I want to go somewhere different this time, in Colombia. So I was like, yo, Cali. Then another reason that kind of sold it for me was like they say it's the blackest, part of Colombia, and I was like,
Yeah,
okay, I definitely got to go there. So
yeah.
I said, I'll fit right in. I'm black, like I'll just blend right in. I want
Mhm.
to, stand out. So I was like, yeah, man, I gotta go to Cali, man. And when I went there, and I mean, at first I was like you, I was looking online. I was, yeah, everything was like, oh, Cali's dangerous, Cali's
Yeah.
this, and I was like, oh boy, like I was kind of like, because like every time before I go to a country, I'm doing my research. I'm kind of like, this, this look a little suspect or whatever.
Mhm.
I was like, you know what? Then I heard there was another situation that happened as far as there was like a bombing that happened, but it was well when I got there, I found out it was like an outskirt, like not like
Right.
within the city. And
Right.
but I was like, and I was kind of, do I want to cancel the trip? But I was like, I'm just gonna go through with it, man. I
Yeah.
said I would bought my ticket. I'm out. So when I got there, and it was like completely opposite, man. Not one day I was in Cali, I felt unsafe. That I
Mm.
was there. I mean, pretty much did whatever I want. I got an Uber, went to clubs, I went to the bars, I went to, different things I did, like the mall, like
Hmm.
different parts of Cardi, get food. I'm walking the street. And not one time I was worried about my safety because I was walking, I would walk to places and stuff like that. I think it was only one time I went out to the club like not far from my Airbnb. And there was one Colombian girl. She's like, "Oh yeah, it's not good to walk around the street." I was like, "But I've been walking here all the time. I had no issues. Not to say anything bad will happen. I said I have no issues. I've been walking here like pretty much the whole time I've been here. So Cali to me is top notch. I enjoy it very well. I definitely enjoy it because it's just more local, man. It's not very because like with Medellin, man, it was just a lot of it was there's a lot of gringos, man.
Yeah.
I felt I didn't like it at all. I just felt like I was home with something, It didn't feel authentic to me. I enjoy Medellin. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it because I like to party.
Hmm.
I do a lot of parties. So if I go to a country, I'm always gonna look for parties. That's pretty much what I do. I look see where the party's at because I've been partying for a long time, man. So, but other than that, man, Cali was like definitely it, man. I really enjoy myself there. So,
Now let's talk about the party scene in Cali as opposed to Medellin. And by the
hmm
way, I 100% agree with you saying about Medellin. I love the city. If you look
yeah,
at the city infrastructure and how the city is built, it's a beautiful city.
yeah, it
Very
is.
nice city. Very well put together. A lot of the remodeling, the repairs on
Mm-hmm.
the road. Uh, in that regard, they have Cali beat. In that regard, however, if we're talking about community, family, um, authenticity of the culture, music, then Cali is supersedes
Yeah,
Medellin by a long shot. And
yeah, very true.
that's
Yeah,
the thing that really attracted me to Cali, even though I'd heard of the reputation of Cali. Same thing. I heard of the reputation. Don't go to Cali, you get robbed, you get, drugged, all of this stuff, right? And I just said, you know what, I'm going and we'll see what happens when I get there.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I went during COVID time when there wasn't a lot of other foreigners going to Cali during that time.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, and so it is amazing that you really get to experience the culture. But I did want to talk about the party scene because it is different. Nightlife party scene. The party scene in Cali is a lot different than Medellin. There's places in Medellin, specifically Cartagena, you go to, you would think you're in Miami. You would think you're in a
Yeah,
nightclub in Miami. You know, one I can think of right at the top of my head in Cartagena is Delirium. Delirium is
yeah,
like
yeah,
being in a club in Atlanta or Houston or Miami. You know,
yeah.
now, Cali though, Cali nightlife is different, as you know. Cali is the salsa capital of the world. So, how did you adjust to that nightlife? What was it? Was it real different for you, or was it like, oh, okay, well, this is this is something I could work with. This is something I like.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I like whatever country I go to, I like to immerse myself in the culture, even though it's different from mine, like what I'm used to, what I'm
Mhm.
used to listening to, what clubs I'm used to going to. So, am I a heavy salsa listener or anything like that? No, not really, but I like salsa music. I listen to it. I've taken salsa classes. So I was preparing myself for the trip, so because I've taken salsa classes before, but yeah, I can't get it, bro. I don't know what it is, but I don't know because I'm too stiff or what.
Yeah,
Maybe I need more classes. I need more classes.
yeah.
But I just couldn't get it. So I was already like kind of hip to it a little bit. So when I got there and going to different clubs, it was whatever, man. It was cool to me because I'm just chilling. I'm just enjoying it.
Hmm.
I'm really there for the culture. So me just even though I'm not dancing, I'm just chilling there. I'm like I enjoy this. So I'll just go club hopping. I'm like if I'm like I'm here for too long. Go to the next one. But
Hmm.
other than that, man, it's straight. Like I said, I wanted to get away from Medellin, Cartagena. I wanted to get away from that vibe. I wanted more authentic Colombian culture. I want that Cali culture, and it was like, yeah, Salsa. I was like, capital. I was like, okay, I'm there. So I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go, see that. But would I, what's gonna call it? Be like, oh, this is what I really into. Not like that. So,
Yeah,
um, mhm,
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely, man. And I definitely agree with that.
hmm
We're the same boat, bro.
yeah,
I've tried to dance salsa caleña because salsa in Cali is different than Cuba. It's
yeah,
more
yeah,
fast paced. It's a lot more movement. It's a lot more twists.
Yeah,
It's a lot more angles that you have to know and keep up with. To me, I've taken salsa classes in the United States. When I lived in California, I took a lot of. I would take salsa classes every week, and
yeah.
I thought I got better until I went to Cali, and it's like, okay, this is a whole
I
different.
saw that, bro.
This is on a different level, you know.
I saw that, man. I saw that. I was like, I was looking at them dancing. I was like, bro, this is like they going so fast. I was like, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna go embarrass myself. I'm gonna stay in this little corner. And I'm gonna just watch. I'm gonna grab a drink and I'm gonna just
yeah,
watch, bro. I'm not gonna embarrass myself, man.
yeah.
Nah, nah. But yeah, definitely, I'll probably start doing the classes again. Maybe I'm due to go back, so maybe I'll take some classes when I go there just to kind of get with that pace. So,
Definitely. Now you had mentioned earlier about the
mhm,
diversity,
mhm.
and you're 100% right. You know, when you go to Medellin and you see the demographic actually, for the most part, looks about the same.
Yeah,
Nice demographic. But then when you go to Cali, it literally looks like a melting pot. You know,
yeah,
you'll see Colombians in Cali that are uh, very, very pale looking with blue eyes. You'll see
yeah,
some that are very short with brown skin, and then you'll see some that are just as dark as yourself or I am.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah,
like that diversity. I don't know if you got a chance to go to the Boulevard on Fridays, but if you go out there, it's basically a block party, and you'll see
yeah,
you talking about diversity, man. You'll see Colombians that are definitely all shapes and colors, you know, and I think that's absolutely amazing because you actually see the true essence of the
yeah.
Colombian culture, not just one piece of the Colombian culture.
Yeah, I went to the Boulevard, but I went during the week, so it's pretty much dead. So I was like, I know it gets better in the weekend because I was there during the week, but I was like, I gotta go anyway because I'm there. So, but it
Hmm.
was like it wasn't that many people there. But yeah, I definitely see what you're talking about as far as like the diversity in Cali. Yeah,
I would definitely highly recommend on that note, go to Boulevard
mhm,
on Friday night. One
yeah,
love, you got to
I
man.
will.
Your next trip,
I will.
I would highly recommend go to the Boulevard on Friday night. Go there, I'd say about 9:30, 9 to 9:30, and
Okay.
what we call block party is what they do every Friday night. Literally every Friday night, they're out right by I can't remember like the name of the little bars and restaurants right on the boulevard, but it's a crowd of people around those restaurants and bars, and it's literally a block party. People are dancing, they're socializing, they're drinking right there. Everybody's having a good time. You know, they're playing the instruments right on the street. It's
Yeah.
a good cultural experience, man. I would highly recommend that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely gonna go. When I go back
Hmm.
next time. Yeah, I'll definitely be at the Boulevard. Yeah, that's definitely my plan. Yeah.
Hmm. Now, what are some things that you absolutely loved about Cali as opposed to the other cities? I know you already told us one of them being authenticity of the culture, and then less tourism. But are there any other things that when you got there you were like, wow, this is amazing. I didn't know this about Cali, but this is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was more peaceful, man. It was more chill. That's what I liked about it. Where, like I said, with the other places, it was like very touristy, very fast paced. Where Cali is a little bit more chill, compared to Cartagena and Medellin. It's a little bit more chill to me. So I enjoy that, because like I said, I like to party. I always like to see where like I said, the block party, all that things at, and the fact
Hmm.
that it was very chill, like during the week. And I was like, yeah, cool. Like me and Medellin and Cartagena, there's a party every day. Every day you can party. Literally, like I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, this is crazy. But in Cali, nah, it's the weekend. During the week. That's why when I went there, it wasn't as crazy, But I still went out, but it's just very chill. I'm like, okay, this is more like compared to back home, where during the week everybody's back to work, back to their family, back to school, focus on other things. Then on the weekend they party. So I was like, okay, yeah, I could get jiggy with this. I can see myself being here in Cali. So
And that's actually a good point too.
yeah,
Uh, One Love, I consult people. I do travel
hmm
consultations
yeah,
for people that want to go to Cali. And one of the first things I hear, this is usually with some of the, I say the young guys, like, 30, 25 less. They usually tell me Yeah, but it wasn't enough parties going on. It wasn't enough
Yeah,
nightclubs going on. I want something. I flew in on a Tuesday and I want something to do. Well,
yeah,
Cali is not necessarily that city. There's always, you know, places you can go and just hang out and just sit back and,
mhm.
and enjoy a nice drink. But as far as nightclubs, that really happens from Thursday. I'd say really from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday,
Yeah,
mainly. Yeah.
yeah,
So I always
definitely.
tell people if you're looking for like the Medellin, like you said, the Medellin nightlife was basically 24/7, almost like a Vegas type of nightlife. You know,
Hmm.
you're going to be disappointed in Cali. And a lot of
Yeah,
people
yeah,
tell me, they're
definitely.
like, well, I like Cali, but it didn't have enough things to do. Meaning, mainly, they're always usually focused on the nightlife. And so
The
that
nightlife,
is
yeah.
something good point that you made.
Yeah, I mean, you can find one-off parties here if you just start really looking. But like I said, it's mostly gonna be just you just chilling. You know, you're not gonna be ain't gonna be nothing crazy. It's just gonna be at a bar. It's gonna be a vibe because I noticed it when I was there because I went during the week. You know, but I already expected that. I was like, I'm cool with it. You know, I just want to go see it. I just want to go there. So when I
Hmm.
got there, I was like, yeah, this is what kind of expected. But I still was able to party, man. It was they had like a party called Gringo Tuesday. I
Hmm.
checked that out. That was a cool. It was a cool vibe. You know what I'm saying? So and it was other local parties I went to. I was like straight, you know. But like I said, like what I always try to do in these countries when I get there, man, I really start doing my research and start talking to locals about, hey, where's the spot, you know, to hang out here on Wednesday or on a Thursday or on a Tuesday. I talk to locals, you know, somewhere safe, not like anything crazy, but you know, somewhere it's like it's still it's safe for tourists, but it's very local. You know, I can still go there and I don't have to worry about anything, you know. So
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Now, what do you think about the food?
The food's good, man. I mean, to me, when it comes to Colombian food, the taste bud is for us is a little different from the state because I think all food is just different, you
Right.
know. So it's lighter on the seasoning,
Yeah.
but I just think that their food is just more fresh, you know, and they don't have to over season it. You know, to me, I just think Americans we over season our food. We
Yeah.
just put a lot of seasoning on it, so it just takes. Because when I get back home from Colombia or these other countries, bro, I get home, I'm eating not because it was like the food is bad in those countries. It's just because I think I missed the seasoning
Yeah.
of home, you know. So I'm like,
Mhm.
I go home, I want to eat. But other than that, I had great food over there, man. Because what I was doing this time around, I was like, let me try a little bit um, more expensive restaurants. So I
Mhm.
did that in Cali. So I tried those. I was like, cool. Then guess back, I went right back to my local restaurants that were very cheap, and the food was really awesome, and you get a big portion. So I enjoyed that. So I
Mhm.
save those restaurants when I go back. I know exactly where I need to go, you know, because I was like, there was no big difference from the one I was paying for like $50 to the
Yeah.
one I was paying for like $10. I was like, there was really no difference, you know. But I did it so my viewers could see it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go eat at this, you know, this place right here. It costs this much to eat, you know. Then I'm gonna take you somewhere where it's like it's literally like you know a small little mom and pop restaurant, you know,
Mhm.
and it tastes really good. So yeah, definitely, man. The food is good. The food's always good to me. It's just more fresh, you know. So you don't feel bloated after. You don't feel like because I think at home when you eat the food, you just feel like, man, like you gotta go take a nap. And
Yeah.
when in Colombia, you don't feel like that after you finish eating that food. You know, you're like you ready to go again. So that's how I think about when eating Colombian or other cultures' food. You know, so
Hmm. Yeah, I agree
yeah,
with that. I remember
yeah,
going to Bogota and eating the food, and uh, actually, One Love in Cali, they actually season their food a lot more than say Medellin or Bogota.
yeah,
I went to Bogota, the food. I have to be honest, the food was bland. You know, there
yeah.
was
In
really
Bogota,
no
yeah.
seasoning.
Oh hell no.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think I care too much to go to Bogota. I mean, I thought about it, but I don't think I really want. This is cold there. I was like, bro, I ain't trying to go nowhere cold, man. Like travel, like I don't really. None unless I'm going to Russia or somewhere, you know, somewhere in Europe, you know, maybe. But I don't want to go to Colombia, man. It's freezing, man. So
yeah. I mean, I don't want to talk about Bogota. I just
yeah,
said
yeah,
I didn't really have a good experience in Bogota, and maybe it's just because of the time that I went there.
yeah,
Um, sometimes you go to the city and it doesn't meet your expectations. But man, I just be honest about it, man. I did not have a good time in Bogota. It would be the last of my cities in Colombia that I would want to go to, honestly, that I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
go back to. Put it that way.
Hmm.
But it's always good to have that perspective. I never knock it till I try it, so to speak.
Yeah, very
Um,
true. Yeah.
yeah. Uh, so you what barrio or neighborhood did you end up staying? Because I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, the videos that you posted, it looked like it was in the more of the Barrio Granada area, but
Yeah, I
maybe
was. Yeah.
somewhere else. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I was in Rhode Island because there was the best place to stay, and I looked it up. The Airbnb is very cheap, so I was like, all right, that's where I'm gonna be at, and it was closer to all the parties, all the restaurant. I was like, okay, the first time I'm going to like a city, like city within Colombia, I like to
Mhm.
be where everything is at. The first time, then the second time, the third time, then I can go stay a little bit further out because I'm used to like the partying lifestyle. I know where
Mhm.
everything at. I can stay further now. But usually the first time, I like to stay right in the heart of the party vibe, like wherever
Mhm.
the party's gonna be at, that's where I want to be. Then later on, now I don't want to be next to the party. I don't want next to the noise. I'll stay
Mhm.
like, maybe a few blocks. Airbnb be cheaper, but I can get a bigger, nicer Airbnb. I can just Uber there, because I know where everything is at now. So I don't need to be right next to it. But the fact I was in Granada, I could walk to pretty much everything. I could
Mhm.
walk to mostly all the clubs that had an area. Then if I
Mhm.
want, I drive out. I think some of the other clubs, even the salsa club, it was like maybe a 5 minute Uber from my
Mhm.
Airbnb. So yeah, it was a great place to stay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with that. I always tell when I'm doing consultations, I tell people that for the most part, Barrio Granada is going to be where you want to stay because
yeah,
it is close to most of the action. Now, again, it's going to be different than the action in Medellin and Cartagena,
yeah,
but if you like, good places to eat, if you like uh, restaurants to play
yeah,
salsa or rock and roll, or
yeah,
they even have a New Orleans, Bourbon Street. They got a New Orleans type of restaurant slash bar in that area. So I always tell people to stay in there because you really can't go wrong with that whole strip. Really, that whole strip is
yeah.
things you can do. So that's
Yeah,
good.
I mean, I always say people like you gotta be secure in yourself. Like when it comes to being by, if you're gonna be by yourself out there, you gotta be able to make entertain your own self pretty much.
Hmm.
So you gotta. It's like when you get there, you're like, oh man, this place don't have it. You gotta pretty much entertain yourself because I travel a lot by myself. So if you go in a place like Cali, it's not like a Medellin lifestyle. You just have to make it fun, man. You're gonna have to approach, locals. You like vibe with them, be like, hey, what do you hang out at? You kind of put yourself out there a little bit more compared to Medellin, where or Cartagena, you got the tourists to help the other tourists like yourself to hang
Hmm.
out with. Because when I got to Medellin, bro, I was hanging out with, I had other dudes like hit me up from the state, be like, yo, my homeboy down there, you link up with him. So for like 2 days, I'm with one dude. Another day, I met this other dude. And I'm hanging out with
Hmm.
him the whole trip. So it was kind of like I wasn't by myself.
Yeah.
But in Cali, you're not gonna have that. So you gotta like put yourself out more. But like I said, you said about the cuisine. Yeah, they definitely have different cuisine there. I went to a Japanese restaurant. The food
Hmm.
is really good, man. I like that about Colombia and Cali. They have that too. I like that, man. So the cuisine to
Hmm.
me was good. I'm not sure I was in. It was definitely good to me.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to mention too, we were talking about food and
Mm.
seasoning. While I would say conventional Colombian food, even more the conventional food in Cali, is not
Yeah.
seasoned like we know of,
Yeah.
like we like in America. However, I will say this though: when you start going to these Afro-Colombian restaurants, you will get the same amount of seasoning and the same amount of
Yeah.
spices and all of that, man. There's actually a place I want to shout out in Barrio Granada called Katanga. It's an Afro-Colombian restaurant, and it's kind of going toward, if you recall, there's a Mr. Wings kind of going up a hill
Yeah.
in Barrio Granada. It's before. It's probably I want to say 100, no, 50 yards from that Mr. Wings on the opposite side of the road. And so I would highly recommend, shout out to Katanga. When I went there, actually my last trip, great food, seasoned, spiced exactly the way it should be, the way us Americans are used to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And good ambiance too, man. Great people there. So I would highly recommend if you haven't been there, and to the viewers, if you're going to Cali, go to Katanga restaurant. It's a Afro-Colombian cultural restaurant that has food very seasoned the way we like it with all the spices and all that good stuff. It's good food.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna check it out next time I go. Yeah, because it's so many choices, man. It's a lot of choices
Mhm.
when it comes to culinary, Cali, Colombia. Period. There's so many like restaurants in every corner. So
Hmm.
you're gonna be like, oh man, which one do I pick today? Like, and the food's not that expensive, man. So you just, you kind of like a kid in a playland, man. Just like you can eat wherever you want to eat at. You can have whatever food you want because I mean, you're on vacation, so you can there to spend money. So I
Hmm.
like that about Colombia. I like that about Cali. So.
Was there anything in Cali that you really didn't like that you might experience as like, okay, well that
Mhm.
I could do without that, or that's not something that I'm really partial to.
Nah, I didn't have any bad experience in Cali at all. Like there was nothing I disliked about it. Like I said, like I knew as far as the party scene, if that's what it was gonna be, so I didn't have a high expectation of I'm gonna have a crazy lit time because I knew that's what Cali vibe is. So for me, like it was a great trip, man. That's why I was like, yo, I'm coming back. I'm
Absolutely.
definitely coming back here. Yeah, yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
So I want the viewers, because now because you have a page, you have some really good content, not just about Cali, but your travel experiences in general. I want them to know how to find you on social media. So we're going to pull up your social media information so they can share that, or so they can
Yeah,
get on, follow you, share it with their friends. As you see, YouTube, he's on YouTube, OneLuv Travel. So you guys go out and support OneLuv. He's got some real good content. The thing I like about your content, man, is good content you could take something away from. It's real, authentic content. Some of these content creators, I'm not gonna get on the passport bros too
yeah,
big
yeah.
this week, but some of the content creators, uh, they don't show it all. They don't
No, no,
tell it
no,
all. You know,
nah. It's
and
just like the best part.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I get
And
it. Like for me, it's like it's my view. I don't want to because when you chasing that, you want to go viral,
right,
then the content is not authentic anymore.
right.
So I'm like, yo, this is like how it is in the country. This is the vibe. So it's not going to be because I think a lot of people just they want the extreme. It's like nah, I want to see like when I watch content, I'm like I want to see around. Like so when I visit that country, I want information.
Hmm.
So that way when I travel, I'm like, oh, okay, I got these information. Now I can go when I do it. So people are looking for that.
Right.
So it's not every viewer is all looking just for that highlight reel. This is or they looking just for girls in the content or just
Hmm.
specifically. Nah, like I go there and a lot of time I don't meet nobody. I just be chilling by myself.
Right.
If I meet someone, cool. If I don't, like it's no big deal. I don't
Mhm.
have to have that in my content all the time. It is what
Right.
it is. If I go to Cali, I didn't meet anyone, all good. I go back and I meet someone, awesome. Like, do they want to be in my content? Yeah, cool. If they don't, you're not gonna see it in the content, But I'm like, yeah, I think that was someone, but you're not gonna see it because not everybody want to be in your content.
Right.
So I just go with the flow whenever I'm there.
Yeah, and I did like
Yeah,
your content. I know you did I believe you did a date night. I don't think it was in
yeah,
Cali, somewhere else.
yeah,
But I like the fact that the content that, first of all, it was a nice ambiance, the place that you
yeah,
all went to. And then it was something positive where it's like, okay, well, if I'm thinking about going to Cuba, I'll go to this place. And I wanted to take somebody, somebody I just met
yeah,
on a date night. I can go to this place. So I think that was good, man. Keep doing
yeah.
what
Yeah.
you're doing.
I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now, did you? We know you didn't say that you didn't feel any kind of way about the safety. Did you get outside of Cali any? Because the whole area, Cali is the capital of what they call Valle de Cauca Department. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of cities and little towns and provinces outside of Cali. Uh, did you get brave and venture on out to any of those cities, or did you kind of keep it within Cali, the city of
I
Cali?
kept it in Cali just because of the news and everything. It was like it's
Yeah.
getting close to the election. I was like, yeah, let me next time I come after the election, when stuff come down a little bit, I'll go ahead and take a little bit more risk. But I wanted to do that when I was there, because usually I like going out on the outskirts outside the city. That's even when I'm in Medellin or Cartagena. I want to get out. I want to go to different spots. So, but yeah, I didn't get a chance to do it. So I just stayed within the city, man.
I think that's wise.
Yeah,
There are, I always try to be honest on my podcast, and when I talk about safety or things that happen, you're exactly right. Several months ago there were some bombings outside of
Hmm.
Cali. Some bombings that were really terrible situations. There's a little small like town, I guess you could say, or maybe you call it a suburb of Cali called Hummindy. And
Yeah,
there was an incident that happened there. Typically, the bad people that do this are really their frustration and um, violence is toward the law enforcement or Colombian military, but sometimes, unfortunately, civilians
yeah,
get caught in the fire, so to speak, in the crossfire.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so I did want to mention that, to the viewers, again, trying to be transparent. You do have to be careful when you venture out of Cali in certain areas. Now, I think there's certain towns I could say like Buga. Buga is a nice little small town. From everything that I've heard, I haven't been there. My brother has been there, and
yeah,
from everything he tells me, nice town, really nice. The people are nice, but that's why you have to do your research in advance, and you have to know where you're going. So you minimize the chances of you end up being in a crossfire if something did happen.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
Anything else to add on that? You want to add on that?
Yeah, 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 definitely. Like it was for me, I was like, man, let me just wait until because what I was reading on it is they always kind of start doing election time, and I was
Hmm.
like, yeah, and I'm like right in the midst of it. I was like, just gonna wait after. But when I was in Cali, like I didn't get the vibe. People felt like it was unsafe. Where
Hmm.
people was just normal, man. It wasn't like people was like, oh my god, it's not safe there. It's not safe there. Talk to a lot of the Uber drivers because that's what I always do. I always talk to Uber drivers, whatever
Yeah.
country I go to because I get all my information from them.
Hmm.
And they're like, nah, nah, man, you good. Like, there's no problem in Cali, man. Cali's super safe. Everything was cool. I didn't have to worry about one thing when I was in Cali. The only place I think on my travel I felt like I was really felt unsafe was Honduras. That was the only place I went to the capital, and I was like, yeah. When I was walking like in the downtown center area,
Yeah.
and I'm just walking doing content, and boy, the looks I was getting wasn't like, oh, you're a tourist. No, it was like, yeah, we're gonna rob you. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I ain't coming back here, bro. I'm not coming back here. I was this is middle of the day.
Hmm.
Usually middle of the day, you don't have to worry about if you go out in the central, you don't have to really worry about anything like that. I was like, yeah, I ain't coming back over here, man. So the Honduras is the only place I felt. But Cali, yo, to me, definitely an A+ for me with Cali. Like I didn't have to worry about anything. Now, mind you, I always take my precautions. So
Hmm.
I'm not saying just go out there and just act wild, thinking like you fully safe. Things happen,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was good, man. I enjoy Cali. I enjoy it a lot.
There's a lot going on with One Love right now in Medellin.
Hmm.
It's a lot of brothers, man, that are getting
Hmm.
stopped in the airport, searched by immigration, searching their phone, find pictures of things
Yeah.
that the authorities there would deem a part of the sex tourism, and then they sending them right back. What's your whole thought on all of this happening in Medellin? Yeah, I want to get your opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, man. I think what's happening with that is I don't think Colombia or specifically Medellin want to be known for sex tourism. They don't want to be known for it. I mean, it is part of I would say Latin and Central America. Like they have all this thing, but they kind of hide it in one part, and you don't see it. They don't come to light. Because like pay for play is I'm not saying part of the culture, but it's very
Hmm.
much legal in those countries. Like
Yeah.
it's legal. Like you could just go on a website or whatever. Like you can go like these things are there.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that. But the thing is, what they don't like it to be like out in the open, people in the park, and
Hmm.
you just come in just for that. So the guys, what they doing is like they not playing no tours. They're not
Hmm.
doing nothing. They just coming straight, go to the park, and I'm like, bro, like at least do something, plan something. Like go for a culture. You're not going for nothing. I'm like, bro, like if you don't meet up with a chick like this trip, whatever, it's all good. But go enjoy yourself.
Right.
I think Beijing has more to offer, not just the girls on the park. It
Hmm.
has a lot of things to offer. Just like Cartagena, like it
Hmm.
has so much more to offer. It's not just girl in the wall city. It's just so much to offer. And most of the time you're gonna meet a regular girl just want to vibe with you. Just
Right.
you gotta learn a little bit of Spanish. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And then you can enjoy yourself. We men, we when you travel, you want to meet a beautiful woman. Who doesn't want to chill with a beautiful woman? Wow, they got a nice Airbnb with a great view. Who doesn't want
Hmm.
that? We all want that. But My thing is, man, you gotta be smart about it. You just can't just go there and then all you do is just go straight to the park, and that's it. That's your trip consists of. Like you
Right.
come here, park, and back and forth. So eventually they're gonna be like, whoa, bro, you can't come here, man, because that's all you doing, you know. So
Hmm.
that's my perspective on it, man. It's
No,
just,
I think that's a good
yeah,
perspective.
yeah,
That's a great perspective, One Love. I
yeah,
tell you another thing. I think Medellin, the local government of Medellin, is getting tired
yeah,
of the negative publicity. Every time somebody get,
yeah,
every time a drugging ends up on the internet or on the national news, that makes
yeah.
the city look bad. You know,
Yeah, very true. Yeah. Because they don't want to be known for like that. They don't want to be known for that. You know, even though it's
right?
there, they just don't want to be known for it. And the
Hmm.
thing is, we gonna be the, because of us, we gonna be the easy target. You know,
Right.
they gotta be like, yeah, those guys. Even though we like not the majority of it, but we the easy target. We the easy. They could easily paint us as the bad guy. You know, because they're
Hmm.
gonna take a few of the guys that dress, whatever the way they dress. They're gonna be like, yeah, you see, yeah, we don't want that. Because I watch other um Colombian that create content and stuff like that. And like, oh, these guys are the bad guy, blah blah. I'm like, I said honestly, no. I said Colombian men partake on these things just as much as the tourists that's coming there. You know,
True.
they partake on it just as much, and it's very most part of their culture to date younger. If you know what I'm saying, it's very
Hmm.
part of their. Let me not just say it's the Columbia whole Columbia, but it's that's why if you go there, age thing is not a big deal to them. You know, you're gonna see people that have a large age gap and things like that. So
Hmm.
like I don't like the fact when they just try to put the whole blame on on the tourists, like tourists are coming just for that. I
Yeah.
said it was already there. It was already there. So the guys come in like, oh wow, like you got just have all these things here. But the thing is, you're not Colombian. You know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna have
Right.
all the rights, all the all the little you know what, we're not gonna pay attention to that. You're not gonna get that because you're a
Hmm.
foreigner. So when
Right.
you're a foreigner, you're guessing someone home, you gotta behave.
Hmm.
So if you're not behaving, they're not gonna let you in, man. Just behave. That's all you gotta do. Nobody say don't go there, don't have fun, don't enjoy yourself.
Right.
Just behave. That's it. If you behave, they're not gonna bother you. They're gonna be like, nah, man, you behaving, you going on tours, you doing your thing. Like
Hmm.
you're not just coming here just for for tour, ex tourism.
Hmm.
But if you just coming for that, they're gonna be like, you're not behaving. You can't get in. You know what I'm saying?
So
That's all
true.
it is, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to use your word, behave. That's a good
yeah,
point. Probably I want to say about 4 months ago, I saw a
yeah,
video in Cartagena where I guess apparently some Americans got into a fight over a working girl outside the club.
yeah,
That's not behaving. So when you
yeah.
do
Yeah, no, it's
stuff
not.
like that, when you do stuff like that, it sheds a negative light on tourism in general because they're not gonna just say that's one
Hmm.
isolated incident. Those guys were just knuckleheads. They're gonna say that all of the
All of them,
tourists
yeah,
was
all of them,
like
yeah. All
right,
the black ones, they're gonna be like, yo, you guys
right,
all in one bunch.
exactly. So that has been my mission from the day one that I started this
Yeah,
platform is let me give good, clean content that is
yeah,
a positive asset to the culture. There's no one that could critique me and say, well, Cali culture is not a positive showcase of
yeah.
the wonderful culture in Cali. I'm not going to the barrios to get the bad barrios to get clicks because at the end of the day,
Oh no.
Cali's more than that. Cali's
Yeah,
more
yeah.
than that. There's a man. Look, the neighborhood that I live in. I'm not sure if you got a chance to go to LPM, but that neighborhood, I see just as many BMWs and Lexuses and Mercedes that I see in Atlanta, Georgia, in Augusta, Georgia.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Colombians that are doing very good, but a lot of content
Oh yeah.
creators won't show that because that doesn't get the
No.
clicks. You
It's
know
like going to Miami when you go into the hood. All right, why would you go to the hood? Like, you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Like, that don't make no sense. Like, we don't go to the hood, man. Like, I know, like, this certain hood, I'm not gonna go there for what? Like, I'm
Mhm.
looking for trouble. Like, I'm like, nah, bro. Like, it was like I think one place in Cartagena I wanted to go to this market, and I told the Uber driver, "Can you take me there?" He's like, nah, it's not safe for you. I don't want to take you there. This guy called his daughter, and so that she could talk to me, like, nah, don't go there. It's not safe.
Mhm.
It's an outdoor market. It's selling stuff. I wanted to go there. He's like, nah, it's not safe for you. You're a tourist, so just stay out of it. I was like, all right, cool. That's it. You know what? Yeah, warn me. I said it's cool. But I wasn't going there because this place is dangerous. Let me go see it. It was just like they actually have tours to go there,
Right.
But the guy was like, nah, it's not really safe for you. But I think sometimes Colombians will they even people like in my country will do the same thing. They're like, oh no, this is not safe, but clearly like there's no issues at all. You get there, you're like, what do you this is completely safe. What are you talking about? They
Yeah,
will do that. You know, like some places they'll be like, oh, this town's not safe when you just like about Cali. They'll say
yeah,
it's not safe when you get there, you're like, what are you talking about?
right.
Like maybe parts of it is not just like every the parts of Medellin. You go out there, another barrio, you're like, oh yeah, now I'm in the wrong place.
Hmm.
So there's just like that in every place that you go. Like the whole Honduras is not unsafe, but it's just the
Hmm.
part I was in that was unsafe. That was like, let me get out of there. So
Right.
it's just I think like I said, a lot of those guys, man, they just looking for clicks, man. They just want to get views and they getting
Yeah.
views from negative stuff. I don't want my content to be about stuff that's negative. Like
Right.
you just I don't. So that's why I want to organically grow my YouTube channel. I don't want it to be like because the thing is you're gonna become that. Whatever you do, that's what you're gonna become. That's what your viewers
Exactly.
gonna want. Your channel is gonna be that. It's gonna be full of those people that want that extreme. When is the next bad hood you're gonna go to? Or the next baddie you're gonna chill with? When is the next girl you're chilling with? Because now your content is about girls and going to the hood and partying. That's all it is, and you're gonna get tired eventually because your content you're not used to like you just chilling or going to a salsa class. It is usually party, 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 girls, hood.
Not to
So you gotta think
mention,
about that.
and that is so true. That
Yeah,
well said. Not to mention the fact that at some point you keep playing with fire, you're going to get burned. At some
yeah,
point, you know,
oh yeah,
I know of about three content creators. Again, I'm not going to say their names, but they had problems in Colombia. Not necessarily Cali, but I know one
yeah,
of them, the very famous content creator, had a problem in Cartagena. He was filming
yeah.
around the city, and he got pressed a little bit, and it could have been avoided by just if the people say they want you filming, don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah. Because a lot of the girls that they don't want to be filmed. So if you're gonna do it, like, they say you just all right, cool, no problem. Like I said, that's why I kind of like I'm going more with my phone when I do content now because I realize like people kind of drop their guards because if they see you on your phone recording, they don't look at it like you doing content. They just think that you're a regular tourist just
Right,
recording, like you being there.
right.
But when I have the Pocket 3, they're like, oh yeah, you're a content creator because they can see the Pocket 3. But my phone, I was like, because my phone records just as good as the Pocket 3. And I was
Mhm.
like, you know what, I'm just going to use the phone. It's much easier. And people just want information anyway. So I don't have to create long form content,
Right.
and I need to, like I said, because a lot of those guys, like they're trying to get girls in their content because girls
Mhm.
get views. I admit it, it does.
Yep.
But so they always those competition. I'm like, yeah, you gonna have issues now because they got walking girls there. They don't want to be seen, man. They got dudes, they got husbands, they got whatever. Maybe somebody in the state that think they're not working girls. And now you put them on Front Street. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like for thousands of people to see it. So they
Yeah.
don't want to be seen. So that's where the issues lies, man. So
Right.
it's tough, man. It's tough. You're gonna be a travel YouTuber. Yeah, you're gonna have some of the issues, when it comes to recording. So some places, like if I see like they kind of iffy, I keep the camera and I don't record. I'm like, it ain't that serious. But if they ain't tripping, I'm recording. The whole thing,
Mhm.
the whole vibe. So that's how I go about it.
Well, and I think that's a good way to do it. And
Yeah,
the people, the locals, that have more respect for you if you just
yeah,
kind of be indiscreet and you kind of get you talk to them first. What I've learned is if you talk to people and get they establish a relationship with them, or at least try. Maybe you can't speak Spanish fluently, but at least try.
yeah,
They'd be more apt to. Oh yeah, yeah. Of course you can film this or you can film that. Or you can get my perspective or whatever, as opposed to just doing it without really trying to communicate with them first. So you're
yeah, 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 yeah,
exactly right.
yeah,
Now, I want to bring up a comment. We were talking about salsa classes earlier, and I want to bring up a comment from a friend of mine, Jason Espinosa, that was also on the show. He says, "Got to stay consistent with the salsa classes. It gets easier with
yeah,
time." That's exactly
yeah,
right. That's
yeah,
exactly
yeah.
right. Again,
I'm gonna go back.
yeah, I know you're gonna go back, and I can tell you're
Yeah.
gonna take some classes, man. And so am I. I've been going. I mean, I'm basic. Well, I have my visa. I have my schedule. I'm all in Cali. I own an apartment. Well, now I own two apartments in Cali, so
Oh,
I'm all
nice.
in Cali. And man, I should I should be able to cut a few more steps in salsa than I can now. But
Yeah, yeah. I got
practice
excuse
makes
because
progress,
it's my
right?
it was my first time, but you live there, man, practically. So I'm
So
like,
I don't have an excuse to be
you
honest with
got,
you. You know,
yeah, you gotta be master of salsa by now, man.
I should,
I'm
man.
like, man, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna take a few classes, man, because I'm going back. You
Yeah,
know, I'm going back. I'll be there soon. So I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, I gotta do something. I gotta get at least mediocre level, something, you know?
Well, like I said, I think the main thing is I gotta program my brain to kind of forget not the basics, the one, two, three, four. That's the basic, but
Yeah, yeah,
but I gotta forget everything from there because then salsa colina is first of all it's faster. Second of all, they what I've noticed they do is it's a flow. It's not a
yeah.
choreographed dance. It's a flow. So you gotta feel the flow when you're dancing with your partner. You gotta feel her flow and her energy. You
Very
gotta
true. Yeah,
direct her. She's gonna do what how you direct her in salsa in the movement, and I haven't got that yet. I be stepping on,
yeah.
on women's toes and everything.
Yeah, yeah. I think we just try to count those numbers so much, then
Yeah,
you realize like, and then you try and do that, then you mess up the vibe rather than just go with the flow. So
yeah,
I'm gonna take some classes, man. When I go there, I'm gonna take some salsa classes at least. I'm gonna do it. Just I didn't do it last time, but I'm gonna do it this time. Just take some salsa classes. Just
definitely.
just kind of help me out because I definitely see me going to Cali at least two, a couple of times at least. So
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
yeah, definitely.
So let's see. Do you know about the Petronio Alvarez Festival? Because that is a
Oh, oh
major
yeah.
Afro-Colombian festival in August, basically about 2 weeks away. And you want to talk about culture and dancing and Afro Colombians and good drinks, man. I tell you, if you don't get a chance to go in a few weeks, I would highly
I'm
recommend
going.
putting that on 2027.
Nah, I'm going. I'm going. That's where I'm going.
Okay, well I'll see you there then.
Yeah,
I'll be there too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're gonna link up. I'll be there. I was like, yeah,
Definitely.
I'm going. I'm coming back. They asked me to work too that weekend. I was like, man, I had to cancel it. I was like,
Yeah.
man, trip already booked. I'm there. I'll be there for 2 weeks, but I might go to Cartagena after the festival,
Hmm.
depending how I feel. But yeah, I'll be there for like 2 weeks, man.
Man, like I said, you're gonna have a blast, man. We'll definitely link up, man.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah.
and talk a little bit more, man. It'd be a great time. I wanted to ask you if a viewer right now is listening to this podcast, they're very interested in Cali, Colombia, but at the same time, they haven't made that decision to go.
Mhm.
What would you tell them, One Love?
Man, just book the ticket, man. Just book the ticket. Go on there, go on Google, look it up, and book it. Like, don't waste no time because you're gonna just keep thinking about, oh, I got this, I got that. Like, just book it. Don't have no reservation about it, man. Cali is really a great city. You're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna love the food. You're gonna love the beautiful woman there in Cali. Just the whole vibe, salsa. You're gonna love Cali, man. So just book the ticket. If you didn't book your Airbnb yet, just book the ticket. You got that locked down. Then you can worry about Airbnb later.
I 100% agree.
Yeah,
There's one thing, and I never focus my podcast on the women, but I do think it's worth saying, and I think you agree with me. There are some
yeah,
beautiful women in Cali, Colombia.
yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're a single dude, you going there. That's what you might not be like. That's like your highlight of your trip. But you
Mhm.
you want to meet you want to meet beautiful women.
Yeah,
Like while you on your trip. Like I'm just honest with it. That's why a lot of guys I know. Like when I started watching it, I was like, oh wow, this is like this is what it is. Like you get to Colombia and then you gotta. But obviously that wasn't it when I got there. That wasn't actually. It was just what people were showing on their content because they were so focused on that. But when I got there, I was like, nah, this is just these people are normal as us.
right.
But yeah, yeah, man, definitely, I would say come to Cali, like just enjoy everything about Cali. Everything the city has to engulf. Like the reason why I say like women is because I'm a single dude, so I talk, more in that perspective. I'm like, yeah, yeah, just come there, you're gonna meet beautiful women and stuff like that. But you
Mhm.
gotta learn Spanish. You
Yeah,
got you gotta learn Spanish. If you don't know Spanish, you're gonna be most likely you're gonna be dealing with a woman that's like she's gonna be a working girl, or she's gonna be a girl that she's not working, but she
mhm.
tends to be with she tends to be tourists for a specific reason.
Right.
So you want to learn your Spanish so you can just talk to more locals. So you just don't get stuck. Because trust me, I know. you
So
know.
I 100% agree with you, and
Yeah.
I would say this: Calinas, the women in Cali, the locals in
Hmm.
Cali, they're very approachable, even if you don't know Spanish. If you
Yeah.
know point, if you know 2.5% Spanish, you
Yeah.
can at least greet them, and they will try to converse with you. Majority. We're not saying everyone. Majority.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't
I
mean
noticed
that
that.
you're gonna get a date or anything like that, or you get the number. It's just saying that you can converse with the local women there in Cali.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Not as intimidating as it may be in other countries, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I got that vibe. When I was there, like it was easy to walk up to them and start talking. Just of course, I knew a few words in Spanish, and but if it get crazy, I pull out the phone. But basic conversation I can handle. But if it get
Right.
crazy, I say, hold on, let me pull out the phone. I say he's getting crazy now. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, definitely Cali's worth it to me, man. I would definitely tell people to go to Cali. I tell my friends to go to Cali. I'm like, yo, let's go vibe. But like I said, just don't just because I say yeah, it's safe. Just still have the things in order so that way you safe in any country you go to. Just because it says it's hundreds, but you still gotta have your peace. Just check everything. Make sure that you're good when you get to that country. Not just going wildly, just like you back home. Nah, you're not back home. You can't move like that. But Cali definitely it.
Absolutely. Well, so
Yeah.
we reached the end of our podcast. I do always give the guests the final words before I do my closing
Hmm.
monologue. So I want to give you an opportunity, one love. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for being on the show.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I appreciate it, man. Yeah.
yeah, you've had great perspective, and share your experiences with the viewers. I think that's going to help a lot of viewers not just make a decision about Cali, but understand Cali even more from the perspective of some of a traveler. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's much appreciated. But yes, I do want to give you the floor for the next, say, 2 minutes, minute or two. If you have any final words of inspiration or anything else to share with the podcast.
Yeah, definitely, man. Jeremy, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate putting me on a podcast. Definitely appreciate that. And I just want to tell people, man, just travel, man. Just do it. Like just if you watching, you watching the podcast right now, you watching YouTube channel, you seen other guys traveling. Just do it. It's really easy, man. Once you do that first one, everything become easy after that. Like it becomes very easy. Start like like an easy country. Nothing too crazy. You can start somewhere safe. Go to El Salvador. It's very safe. I did that. Like South El Salvador is super safe. It's super cheap. You start there, and then you figure it out. Then after that, you step it up a little bit more to different countries. But all I can tell you is like just do it, man. Just don't. If you're thinking about it, you like I don't know. Just go to the cheapest country, the cheapest safest country you can go to. Just go do it. Then you'll learn from that. Then you'll move on to your next country. Then you move to the next one. And if you want to do content while you're doing that, awesome. You want to vlog doing it, awesome. Just put the information out there. Other people will, they'll see you and they'll catch the bug and they'll travel too. And I think especially for us black men, it's really good for us to travel and experience a different culture and invest like yourself, buy property. That's my goal is to buy property. So now that's the reason why I'm not ready to travel so much because I want to save. Because just me now traveling, going to Puerto Rico, these other places, I've been spending so much money, man. Like, so I'm like, it costs money. Like if you really want to travel so many different countries. So I was like, you know what? I want to invest in somewhere in Colombia or somewhere in El Salvador. So that's really my goal. And I think for us, black people in America, if you start traveling, you're gonna realize there's way bigger possibility to invest because America is pretty much done as far as you need big money. But if you have a little bit of money, you can invest in Colombia. You can invest in other countries, buy property that in America is like they're gonna look at you crazy if you show up with $50,000. You're gonna be like, what are you gonna do with that? You know what I'm saying? But you can go somewhere else and make that work for you. So yeah, so I would definitely tell people, yeah, man, just travel and invest. That's the future pretty much. It's globalism, travel, invest, man. Take your money from America and invest in another country and make the money, make it work for you. You have somewhere to retire, when you want to be done with. So,
Absolutely. Well
yeah.
said, man. You you cover everything that I would want to say in the monologue almost. So
Yeah.
I,
Oh,
I
man, my bad, my bad.
no, no, you good. You good. I appreciate that. Again, it's great having you on the show, and we'll definitely link up in for the Petroleum Alvarez Festival. It's gonna be
Oh,
great.
yeah,
Great,
definitely.
great to
Yeah.
talk to you more, man. You got a lot of interesting perspectives, and we'll catch up soon.
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate it.
We have one other comment I want to bring on screen, just real quick. Christine Bailey, shout out to Christine Bailey. Good
Same.
conversation. Hey, Christine, we appreciate the support of you viewing the channel and everything that you're doing as well with your podcast. So keep up the good work. And everyone, I obviously thank you for listening to the show. Again, another enlightening show, great perspective. And we're going to continue to have good podcasts on the Cali Culture Podcast. We have a lot of good guests coming up in the month of August, so you want to stay locked in. Also, I want to say anyone that wants to give a donation to the podcast, obviously it does take money to keep the lights on, to keep everything going. We want to continue to give you good content that you can share with your friends, family, neighbors, children, whatever, etc. And so any donation would obviously help out. If you want to donate, as you can see on the screen, you can donate via Zelle, PayPal, Cash App. You have a number of ways that you can donate. And again, any donation is good. There's no small donation that we would not appreciate. We appreciate everything. With that being said, let's wrap up the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I always say love the culture, embrace the culture, respect the culture. Remember, Cali is Cali. Enjoy your evening. See you next time. Hasta luego. Thank you for watching the Cali Culture Podcast with Jeremy Preston. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next week for our next episode.